before connecting you to the community.
Welcome to your Hometown News. I'm April Frelke with my co-host, Nick Kaufman.
Well, fall is in the air. September, but yet it's still kind of, I feel fall. And I'm seeing trees.
Trees are changing,
turning.
Yellows.
Are we going to get an early winter or something?
No, I don't know, but now the big fall flavors are out, like your pumpkin spice latte drinks, your pumpkin spices, caramel apples. All the apple orchards are doing their big apple weekends.
Yeah,
Northwoods and Mauston has
starting up. Starting
apple
up for the
cider
fall.
donuts.
Yeah. Hey, we got a show tonight, do we?
Yes, we do. Well, the Connect 24 is brought to you by Oakdale Credit Union, Moulter's Fresh Market in Tomah, Hardware Hank in New Lisbon, and Easier Living Consultants in Camp Douglas. We have reported on opportunities for you to be a citizen scientist on many occasions, and one of you has taken the challenge to a new level. Ryan Krauser's extensive contributions toward documenting Wisconsin's dragonflies and damselflies has earned him a 2020 Wisconsin Citizen-Based Monitoring Award. Krauser is an Eau Claire resident, and he is the president of the Wisconsin Dragonfly Society. He has submitted over 14,000 observations of dragonflies and damselflies to the DNR, and since 2002, he gives talks, leads field outings about dragonflies for the public, and he promotes their society. Well done, Ryan. Keep up the amazing work.
Now, there's a specialized group of observations.
Yes, that's not little dragonflies. I mean, that's not I saw the wolf prints, right?
Well, but some of them are pretty good size, and it's got to be a lot of fun doing it, especially the damselflies.
So that's a long time he's been doing that, too. That's
it is. Yeah. Those are a lot of observations.
Yeah. Well, let's get on to our first interview this evening. He joins us via Zoom. Welcome to the program, Matt Johnson.
Hi, Matt.
Thank you.
How are you?
Thank you.
Hey, Matt, you'll be presenting at the next Juneau County I&E Inventors and Entrepreneurs Club meeting next Thursday, probably at the Leavenworth Valley headquarters there in Camp Douglas on September 24th. And your presentation, the way I understand it, is going to be on renewable energy in Juneau County. How about giving the viewers a taste of what you will be sharing this coming Thursday?
Yes, thank you for having me. Yeah, I'll be talking about renewable energy in Juneau County and in Wisconsin, and talking a little bit about why this transition to more renewable energy is happening in the area, in Wisconsin, and across the country, and the great benefits of renewable energy, including solar projects and wind projects across the state that can bring significant benefits to local communities across the state. So I'll be talking about those economic benefits in detail in that presentation, and it should be a good presentation, I think.
Yeah, this is open to everybody, isn't it? I mean, you don't have to be a member of the I&E Club, right? You can just kind of show up for these presentations. That's my understanding.
I think so. I think I'll be presenting via Zoom to their clubs, so I'm not sure if it's in person or on Zoom.
Oh, good point.
That is a good point, Matt.
Yep, yeah. Right. Yeah, we'll have to see it. Now, Terry Whipple's still behind all that stuff over there, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
okay, very good.
He's great.
So Matt, you work with the Land and Liberty Coalition. What does this organization do for the people of Wisconsin?
Yeah, so I help build a coalition of supporters of volunteers and community leaders across the state who are supportive of renewable energy in their area and across the state. And so I help get these projects approved by building local support. So some of these larger scale wind farms and solar farms, when they are fully constructed and operating, they can bring in significant economic benefits to local communities, like construction jobs, long-term maintenance jobs on these projects, revenue payments to local communities and county governments, and land lease payments to farmers and landowners. And some of those payments can potentially keep farmers in business. And so that's why I work with so many people across the state of Wisconsin to help build awareness and support for these little bit larger scale projects that can really benefit communities that are struggling with jobs right now or struggling with revenue. And so they can provide a lot of great benefits to people all across the state of Wisconsin.
Matt, how do big projects like that get started? Who makes the decision whether you're going to put a wind farm in Jackson County or a wind farm in someplace else? Who does that?
Yeah, so there are developers who will look at areas across Wisconsin. They'll kind of do like desktop analysis of the ground, the water, potentially how much wind or sunlight that specific area gets. And they'll do an evaluation, and then usually they'll try to sign up land through land leasing to get enough land for projects. And then these developers will go through a permitting process, and there are a few different processes depending on the size of the project. And so they go through a permitting process with the state or the local county or local town, and once they get the approval for whatever path they have to take, then construction happens. Then the project is operational, usually for several decades, and then oftentimes then the project is decommissioned and the land is returned to what it was before. And so it's
you'll be talking to a bunch of kind of local people, entrepreneurs, small business people. They'll be kind of wondering, well, what renewable kind of stuff for them? I mean,
You're
at the
talking
house,
Juneau County.
Yeah, Juneau County. At the house, well, even whatever county, all the viewers. I mean, on a farm level or a house level, what kind of renewable energy should individuals be looking at?
Yeah, on an individual scale, I think there's a great opportunity for folks to look at solar energy for their business or their home. Solar panels have become dramatically more efficient and cost effective. And so say you get solar panels on your house or your business, it may be an upfront cost that is a little high, but then those panels pay off, within, 6-7 years. And then you may have, 13, 15, 20 years of essentially extra solar power.
Yeah, free.
And, yeah. So there's a lot of great benefits, and that's a little bit of the presentation, is that these solar panels have gotten dramatically more efficient in the last 10 years.
Wow.
And they just produce power at such a lower cost than they used to.
Yep, that's great.
Matt, thank you so much for joining us and taking time to be with us.
Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. You bet.
Well, catering for cast and crew has been provided by Marco's Italian and American Grill in Warrens. Great food with a fun, relaxing atmosphere at Marco's. Up next, Health Check 360.
At Moulters Fresh Market, we're in this together. We're working hard to keep our shelves stocked and our prices low. Moulters is buying truckloads of things you need every day, like pallets of bottled water, a truckload of toilet paper, even pallets of charcoal for your summertime barbecues. It's time to head to Moulters Fresh Market, stocking up so you can save.
My name is Katie Shute, and I have lived in the Tomah area all my life. I had knee replacement and needed to be in a wheelchair for a while. So when I needed my wheelchair ramp, I thought of Easier Living Consultants right away. The whole thing was done within a couple of days. I would definitely recommend Easier Living Consultants for any project you have. It met up to my expectations and even exceeded them.
The Oakdale Credit Union has spent decades serving Oakdale, Mauston, and Reedsburg. From comprehensive financial services to reliable mortgage loans, we strive to provide unparalleled care.
I like the warm and friendly atmosphere each and every time I come in. The staff is very knowledgeable and truly cares about its members.
Come and learn more about the Oakdale Credit Union, where we treat you like a member of the family.
Do you have one of those things that makes spray painting easy?
You're talking about one of these, the easy way to do it. Hi, can I help you?
Hi, do you have one of those shower extenders?
Sure do, right here. Hey there.
Hi, do you have a saw that saws everything?
Sure do, right here.
You got a lot more going for you with Hank, Hardware Hank.
Relax at Marco's Italian and American Grill in Warrens, Wisconsin.
You're watching 24.
Connecting you to the community.
The Tomah Health Warrens Clinic is now offering a new service that says it will enhance patient care and make a visit to the clinic a bit easier. Tomah Health Emergency Services and Warrens Clinic Director Suzanne Downing joins us on this edition of Health Check 360 with all of the details. Welcome back, Suzanne. We've had you here before.
Yeah, Suzanne.
Yes.
Right. How you been?
Good, good.
Okay, let's jump right into it. What is going on for the viewers who know all about the Warrens Clinic up there? Something happening?
Sure. We are now offering same-day and next-day appointments as we transition out of a walk-in model into a clinic that's taking appointments.
This is a big deal?
It is a big deal.
Okay, so up till today, you could only walk in.
Correct.
And now you can call in and make an appointment.
You can, yep. The same day, for the same day or the following business
Now,
day.
is it either or is it both? Or?
We are still allowing walk-in visits. If we have a provider available to do the visit at that time, we'll slot you right into that appointment.
Suzanne, why the change then for Warrens that you're transitioning to appointments?
Sure.
From the walk-in?
What we're finding prior to appointments was that a number of people would perhaps come in at the same time, and it would create kind of a bottleneck in the flow at the clinic, and it was leading to longer wait times. So what we're hoping to do with transitioning into an appointment-based clinic is to help reduce patient waits and to improve the flow of the work at the clinic. It'll be a staff satisfier as well as a patient satisfier.
How big a clinic is that in there? And what kind of services do you offer?
Sure. So the Warrens Clinic is a small clinic. We have 5 exam rooms. We do staff with a provider Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay.
And we see all types of minor illnesses and injuries.
You do x-ray?
We don't currently do x-ray.
Okay, right. But they do lab work? And
We
that kind of
do.
stuff.
We have a little lab out at the clinic. We can draw blood samples and send them over to the hospital if needed. But we do all sorts of lab tests like mono checks and streps and urinalysis, things that are more common minor ailments.
Yeah, has business been picking up?
Yes, it's been quite busy.
Yeah, how's the virus affected you?
At first, when the stay-at-home order was out, it was slower at the clinic, but it has been steadily picking back up now.
Are the providers doing any Zooming, or is that the proper Zooming? Or I guess would be.
Well, we do offer telehealth visits.
Thank you.
Yep.
Gotta have the right.
Close, Nick. Zoom. I was like thinking, what is it? It's virtual, but it's a telehealth. That's the new trend.
So you're doing that there?
We are. Yep. Right out of the same provider that you would see if you go for an appointment at the clinic. Is available by telemedicine from the main hospital website,
right.
Tomah Health.
How long have you been there?
I've been in my position for about 3 years.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
What else we want to know about that, huh?
Any other information on the Warrens Clinic? I think we covered almost everything.
We did cover a lot. We are offering walk-in services at this point still. So it is the convenient care when you're ready for it. But now with adding in appointment times, it really does help smooth things out.
So the clinic is, the Warrens Clinic is networked with what other clinics?
It's a Tomah Health clinic.
Tomah Health.
Tomah Health.
Yep, so it's associated with the hospital and the specialty clinic.
Oh, okay.
So maybe a lot of your referrals from Warrens are to the Tomah Health. Or
if needed.
If needed, right, because you're doing some minor care and stuff like that. So is there the question I would have maybe for our viewers is there a deadline? So you can only, or is that going to be kind of fluid for
as far as taking walk-in?
What's the timeline? Or the
timeline is pretty fluid. We want to be open and available for our patients to come, and we'll get them in if we can. If it gets to the point where we are full every day with appointments that have been made, then we'll look at moving on to the next phase in our transition.
Then walk-in becomes a problem, doesn't it?
It really does, yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yep.
Then you have to send them to the hospital.
That is one option.
Well, yeah, that is an
Yep,
option.
we do have the urgent care at the hospital,
Yeah,
so
that's great.
that is an option for walk-in care as well.
Good update, huh?
Yeah, Suzanne, thanks for joining us
You're
again.
welcome. Thank you for having me.
Good to see you here.
Tomah opens its streets to ATV traffic, and we have the police chief, Mark Nicholson, next.
At Tomah Health, we're keeping you safe while resuming expanded healthcare services.
I'm Shelley Eggstead, Quality Services Director at Tomah Health. Quality has always been a priority, and it's been part of our mission.
Our staff is taking extra precautions like offering video visit, virus screening, social distancing, and rigorous disinfecting protocols to provide continuing care.
For more information or to schedule an appointment, visit tomahhealth.org.
Moulter's family-owned store brings you fresh. Feel healthy with a wide selection of organic foods, gluten-free products, certified Black Angus beef, and handmade brats. Moulter's has a great selection of meats, so choosing can be tough. Just ask our butcher to help you make the perfect selection. Moulter's brings you fresh-packed deli meals for those on the go. And of course, our fresh market. Download our mobile app and start saving money today. Moulter's brings you fresh.
My name is Katie Shute, and I have lived in the Tomah area all my life. I had knee replacement and needed to be in a wheelchair for a while. So when I needed my wheelchair ramp, I thought of Easier Living Consultants right away. The whole thing was done within a couple of days. I would definitely recommend Easier Living Consultants for any project you have. It met up to my expectations and even exceeded them.
The Oakdale Credit Union has spent decades serving Oakdale, Mauston, and Reedsburg. From comprehensive financial services to reliable mortgage loans, we strive to provide unparalleled care.
I like the warm and friendly atmosphere each and every time I come in. The staff is very knowledgeable and truly cares about its members.
Come and learn more about the Oakdale Credit Union, where we treat you like a member of the family.
I'm Nora Collins. You're watching Lynxx 24, connecting you to the community.
Many communities have opened their city streets to ATV traffic, and Tomah has chosen to open their streets as well. Well, we have Tomah Police Chief Mark Nicholson to share the details and how you can participate. Thank you for taking time.
Absolutely,
Mark,
thank you.
To join us.
Thank you, Mark. This is a fun subject. It really is. But I've got to ask for the viewers: is that what possessed you guys to open up the streets to a bunch of ATVs? It's almost like opening it up to snowmobiles in January.
Yeah, this process started about 5 years ago. There were quite a few citizens as well as some ATV, UTV clubs that approached the city. As it was happening across the state of Wisconsin, there was a request to open up the routes within the city. Ultimately, what we are hoping to see is that it will be bringing in tourism, and people will be coming into our area, going in and using our restaurants, using our hotels, motels.
Really?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
People are going to be coming. That's going to be a magnet for people to come in.
Well,
not just the locals running around up and down our streets.
No, absolutely not. I mean, obviously, people are going to be using it as locals also, but there's a large tourism industry up in the Jackson County area that we're hoping we can tap into.
Okay, so the name of the game is trails, kind of.
The name of the game is routes.
Routes.
Trails are in the woods, routes are on the roads.
Oh, really?
Can you maybe go through some of those the city ordinances that'll affect the routes or where are the routes at?
Absolutely.
What's all about the routes?
Yep. Effective this morning at 8:30, we officially opened up the routes in the city of Tomah. And all of the routes are in the city of Tomah are on a 35 mile an hour speed limit or less. Unless otherwise posted, are going to be open up to ATV, UTV operation. So the City Council adopted all state statutes, so anybody across Wisconsin, if you're an ATV, UTV operator, you're expected to know what the rules and laws are. But in addition to that, there are 5 or 6 things that the City Council did add, and that would include that our routes are open from 6 a.m. till 10 p.m., You have to be at least 16 years of age or older, and you have to have a valid driver's license.
Oh.
A lot of people don't recognize or realize that state statute allows it to go down to 12 years old, and you don't have to have a valid driver's license, but our city council did add that in as an ordinance.
Oh.
So you said there were 5. Those were 2.
Yeah. The other ones were, I believe it had to do with open intoxicants.
Okay.
There does not appear to be a state statute that does not allow you to drink and operate an ATV, so they added that in as an open intoxicant.
So no open intoxicants.
No open
in
intoxicant,
Tomah.
correct. As well as you have to carry proof of liability insurance.
Oh.
Okay.
Wow.
Who enforces if
so
someone...
no carriers. I can't ride around with my little beer.
Correct.
But you could have you could have coffee.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
But so then who enforces if someone is maybe speeding, right?
It's an ordinance violation, so it is enforced by local law enforcement agencies, whoever's jurisdiction it is, which we're talking about the city of Tomah, so it is the police department's responsibility.
So then Mike,
Mark,
I was right. Okay. So then if the big thing is tourism, right? How do the tourists know what the city ordinances are compared to the state?
Well, we're already working on that. We're dealing with social media.
Okay.
We've got outside tourism and chamber of visitors bureaus that have reached out to us. Television shows like yourself.
Sure.
So we're trying to get it out there as much as possible, and as well as the DNR has a local listing of all ordinances for cities that have adopted ordinances such as this.
But ignorance of the law is no excuse. They are responsible for
They are responsible, and in anything that's new, we have some education that we have to do. And even as it relates to enforcement, our focus is going to be on the education of the ordinance to make sure that everybody understands what it is.
You probably had, I'm sorry.
No, I was going to assume if you're a resident, you would maybe be interested in city ordinances, right? Your garbage pickup and all the snow plowing and all that. But if this is a big push for tourism and the tourism dollars, I would say that how would tourists, that's my big thing. Yeah. How would they know? Do you know what?
Well, probably these clubs take a lot of responsibility to make sure that everyone knows, hey, you're going to be in Tomah. Okay, what are the rules there that are different than, say,
Absolutely, yes. And the other thing that we're going to be doing locally is we're going to be trying to work with our locations where tourists may be staying at the hotels, going to the restaurants. We're going to be having information for them that if they know they have ATV, UTV operators coming in, here's our local laws.
We have about 30 seconds left, Nick.
Get a quick one right here. And that is, what would you say was the major issue that you had to overcome for this to happen? You must have had some people fighting against it.
Yeah, I think the major issue that we had to overcome, and it was best described by another chief when I was doing some research, is that once people recognize that that an ATV, UTV is simply a motorcycle with 4 tires, it's a vehicle. It's operated. I think that's the major issue. Is people didn't want loud vehicles going in front of their thing.
Sure, motors.
And they're really not.
Yeah.
No, that's right.
And that's a great way to.
And they have all the road stuff. And blinkers and
almost not blinkers. They do have to. If you have blinkers, you can use them. Otherwise, you have to use your hand signals. But almost every violation, as it relates to operating a motor vehicle, there's a similar violation for an ATV, UTV violation.
Wow, that's good. Very informative.
Great. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for having me.
Moments in History with Nick Kaufman is next.
Moulter's family-owned store brings you fresh. Feel healthy with a wide selection of organic foods, gluten-free products, certified Black Angus beef, and handmade brats. Moulter's has a great selection of meats, so choosing can be tough. Just ask our butcher to help you make the perfect selection. Moulter's brings you fresh-packed deli meals for those on the go. And of course, our fresh market. Download our mobile app and start saving money today. Moulter's brings you fresh.
The Oakdale Credit Union has spent decades serving Oakdale, Mauston, and Reedsburg. From comprehensive financial services to reliable mortgage loans, we strive to provide unparalleled care.
I like the warm and friendly atmosphere each and every time I come in. The staff is very knowledgeable and truly cares about its members.
Come and learn more about the Oakdale Credit Union, where we treat you like a member of the family.
Do you have one of those things that makes spray painting easy?
You're talking about one of these, the easy way to do it. Hi, can I help you?
Hi, do you have one of those shower extenders?
Sure do, right here. Hey there.
Hi, do you have a saw that saws everything?
Sure do. Right here.
You've got a lot more going for you with Hank, Hardware Hank.
At Tomah Health, we're keeping you safe while resuming expanded healthcare services.
I'm Shelley Eggstead, Quality Services Director at Tomah Health. Quality has always been a priority, and it's been part of our mission.
Our staff is taking extra precautions, like offering video visit, virus screening, social distancing, and rigorous disinfecting protocols to provide continuing care.
For more information or to schedule an appointment, visit tomahhealth.org.
You are watching Lynxx 24, connecting you to your community.
And now it's time for Moments in History. Today, I'm going to be testing your knowledge of civics. How did we get our U.S. Constitution that we hear about all the time? Well, okay, let's review. We declared our independence in 1776, right? We won our War of Independence 7 years later, 1783. Now, during that time, the 13 colonies agreed to become a union of 13 states. And they signed the Articles of the Confederation, which we don't really hear much about. But that was our first Constitution. The colonies/states operated under that until after the war ended. So 4 years after the end of the war, delegates from these states met in Philadelphia to review this document, the Articles of the Confederation. First thing that they decided to do was not to amend the Articles of the Confederation, but to start from scratch and draw up a new scheme for governing. That's amazing. George Washington, now of course the hero of the war, he was elected to lead the convention. It started in May of that year, and by this day in September of 1787, we had our U.S. Constitution. So from May to September, 38 of the 41 delegates signed it. We won't go into why there wasn't all, but that's what they needed. According to Article 7 of this new document, it had to be ratified by at least 9 of the 13 states before it could become binding on the nation. So they actually had to write that into the Constitution. And that didn't happen until about August of the following year. Okay, so from the September period where they signed it till the following August is when it went to each of the states' legislature. They took up the measure and they voted on it. During an intensive debate, the delegates devised a brilliant federal organization characterized by an intricate system of checks and balances that we have today. The convention was divided over the issue of state representation in Congress. As the more populated states like New York and Massachusetts, they wanted proportional legislation. Okay, the more people you had, the more representation you had. Smaller states like Rhode Island, hey, they wanted equal representation with the ones that had more people. The problem was resolved by what was called at that time the Connecticut Compromise, which proposed a bicameral legislature with proportional representation in the lower house, we know today as the House of Representatives, and equal representation of the states in the upper house, which is the Senate. By the way, all these documents were created at Independence Hall in Pennsylvania. You can go and see them yourself. The Declaration of Independence, the Articles of Confederation, and the U.S. Constitution, all brought up, reviewed, written, and approved at that location. So there you go. How's that for a little review, huh?
That is really interesting.
Yeah, it really is. And I think Delaware was the first state to ratify. Okay, and then but I'm mostly amazed by the Connecticut Compromise that ended up with our government, because England's got the House of Lords, okay, and the House of Commons, kind of not quite the same though. The Lords are not elected. Anyhow, there you go. That's the deal.
Great. Well, thank you for
You are very welcome. It's always fun to do for you folks out there.
Well, we want to thank you for joining us on your hometown news, where we're connecting
you to the whole community.